Philosophy Spotlight, Taoism. Taoism, the gentle philosophy of balance, flow, and effortless action, invites us to live in harmony with the way Tao. In a world that prizes force and constant striving, Taoism reminds us that true power lies in yielding, in allowing change rather than resisting it. The ancient Chinese philosopher Laozi, famously known as the author of the Tao Te Ching, set the stage for a worldview that treats all beings as part of a seamless, natural rhythm. Laozi taught that the Tao is not nameable, yet we follow it everywhere. It is not visible, yet we see its influence in every breath. Lesson 1. Let go of clinging to fixed outcomes. When we release rigid expectations, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. In business, a leader who trusts the flow can turn market turbulence into an opportunity rather than panic. Lesson 2. Embrace the stillness in action. Wu Wei, or effortless doing, is not laziness, but the art of acting in accordance with the natural order. A salesperson who listens attentively and responds with genuine insight creates rapport without force. Lesson 3. Accept the cyclical nature of life. Like seasons and rivers, human experience has rising and falling. By recognizing that decline is preparation for renewal, we can face setbacks with calm, ready for rebirth. These Taoist lessons echo our main theme. The phoenix's transformative rise from ashes mirrors the very essence of Wu Wei, flowing, adapting, and emerging anew. Chapter 1. The Dawn of Ashes. Imagine a vast desert, dunes rising like the waves of an ocean. In its heart lies the story of the Egyptian Bennu, a phoenix-like creature born from the smoldering remains of a setting sun. When Bennu was incinerated by the fierce blaze of the sun god, the ashes rose upon the horizon, and, as ancient scrolls show, it was said that the phoenix emerged, feathered and fresh, from the very particles that had once consumed it. In modern terms, this is the narrative of a small startup that collapsed during its first product launch. The founders, overwhelmed by negative reviews and investor doubts, saw a fire of criticism burn down their dreams. Yet, rather than despair, they gathered the remnants of their experience, the lessons of unmet expectations, misaligned markets, and under-communicated vision into a new foundation. By turning these ashes into knowledge, they rebuilt the company, relaunching with a pivoted business model, a more robust product, and a leaner mindset. The takeaway is, let the ashes of failure serve as the soil for new growth. This aligns with Wu Wei, acting not against adversity but with it, turning the negative forces into the catalyst for rebirth. Apply it today. Before accepting the next rejection email, pause and list the 3 lessons the message teaches you. Use those lessons to refocus your strategy and then move forward, lighter and wiser. Conclusion: just as the desert sands shift with the wind, we must allow the winds of failure to reshape our trajectory. The phoenix reminds us that dissolution precedes emergence. Call to action. If this story sparks a flame in you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories that light the way to transformation. Reflective question: in what recent setback can you find the hidden seeds of your next success? Chapter 2. The Quiet River of Wu Wei. Picture a clear mountain river winding through pine forest, its waters flowing effortlessly over stones, around rocks, never slowing, never forcing its path. This river is the living representation of Wu Wei, the Taoist principle of effortless action. The ancient Chinese scholar Zhuangzi once recounted a tale. A fisherman in a boat found the catch of his life not by pulling the rope with force, but by letting the line drift and the fish to choose its moment. Today's high-pressure job markets demand constant push, relentless deadlines, and an endless cycle of hustle. Yet we can transform this tension by adopting the mindset of the river. Instead of fighting against workload, we set priorities by flow. If a task requires immediate water, we tackle it. If it can wait, we let it go. We synchronize our activity to natural rhythms like circadian cycles. A modern entrepreneur, for instance, might launch a 24-hour customer service line. Instead of staffing teams on an exhausting shift model, she used data to discover peak engagement hours, then scheduled part-time support to match those spikes. Her overhead fell, and her customers felt heard, because service flowed natural, not pressured. Action step: map your weekly tasks onto a natural cycle: morning for creative work, early afternoon for meetings, evening for rest and reflection. Notice the difference between forced and fluid action. Conclusion: as the river keeps moving, so should we, aligned with our flow, not against it. The phoenix's rebirth is facilitated when we let circumstances guide our rebirth rather than fight them. Call to action. Hit like if you're ready to let your work flow, share this insight with a colleague, and subscribe for more strategies rooted in ancient wisdom. Reflective question: which of your tasks feels like a forced strain rather than a natural flow? Chapter 3: The Mountain's Quiet Wisdom. On a distant mountain in Japan stood an ancient cedar, its roots sunk deep into the earth, its branches reaching for the sky. Every season, the cedar shed its leaves, only to burst again into dense green, a silent testament to perpetual renewal. The story of the cedar is paired with the legend of the Japanese phoenix, Izanaga's spirit, claiming that when the cedar lost its leaves, the spirit sang, "I will rise again, higher and brighter." A contemporary illustration comes from a mid-level manager who decided to leave a comfortable corporate job in pursuit of a passion for sustainable agriculture. Critics warned that abandoning stability for an uncertain venture was reckless. Instead of resisting criticism, he embraced the cedar's lesson: shed the old to make room for the next. He saved minimally, studied permaculture, and began farming a small plot on his property, slowly building a community that supported his produce and sustainable principles. This renewal process echoes Wu Wei. The manager let the old job, like the cedar's shed leaves, fall away without struggle, then allowed his new purpose to arise naturally, guided by his values. Action step: identify one area of your life that feels stale or outdated. Create a simple plan to shed it, delete a useless app, stop a toxic habit, or exit a failing project. Then create a seed for new growth, a workshop, a side hustle, or a new skill. Conclusion: the mountain's cadence reminds us that every ending is also a starting point. The phoenix's rebirth relies on letting the old dissolve. Call to action: like the patience of the cedar, like this post, share your shedding story, and subscribe for more journeys of renewal. Reflective question: what is one thing you have been holding onto that is no longer serving you, and how can you let it go to welcome a fresh beginning? Chapter 4: The Sky's Silver Tongue. Far above the earth, the phoenix is believed to fly to the moon when it is ready to rise anew. Many cultures describe this moment as a silent communion, a dialogue between the bird and the cosmos. In the Chinese tradition, the phoenix's migration to the moon signals the alignment of body, mind, and spirit, a symbolic reaching toward higher aspirations. Consider a young designer who has spent years working in a firm, feeling creatively limited. Instead of seeking the next role within the same ecosystem, she chooses to travel, attending international design conferences and immersing herself in cultures that inspire her. During a midnight sojourn in Bali, she sketches a prototype for a biodegradable packaging line, blending her design skill with environmental urgency. Her new venture garners funding in 2 months, and she becomes a thought leader in sustainable packaging. At this juncture, the designer follows the phoenix's path, moving beyond the current realm, aligning her journey with a higher purpose. Wu Wei guides her to act when the cosmos beckons, rather than clinging to established roles. Action step: set a personal pilgrimage, either literal or figurative. This could be a retreat weekend, a cross-country road trip, or a deep dive into a new industry. Let the experience bring a fresh perspective that aligns actions with your inner compass. Conclusion: the sky's silver tongue encourages us to listen not only to what we dare to say, but also to the quiet prompts of the world. The phoenix's rebirth is activated when we respond to those cosmic nudges. Call to action: if this story inspired you to seek the silver sky, give us a like. Share with someone who needs a bold step. Subscribe to continue exploring transformative paths. Reflective question: when was the last time you let your inner voice guide you to a new direction, even when it seemed risky? Chapter 5: The Infinite Loop of Rebirth. The phoenix's tale culminates with the phoenix rising from its own ashes, a full cycle of death and rebirth that repeats endlessly. This narrative is not a tragic ending, but a triumph of renewal. Similarly, in Taoist philosophy, the universe is in constant motion, never settling, always becoming. A seasoned philanthropist, after decades of fundraising, realized that giving felt transactional. He decided to step back from high-profile donor events. Observing communities in need, he found his real contribution was in listening, empowering local leaders to build their own initiatives. The phoenix's endless cycle taught him not to clench his past successes, but to let them become fuel for new acts of generosity. The lesson: transformation is not a single event, but a continuous process of letting go, aligning, and rising. Wu Wei offers a lens to make each cycle effortless, each rebirth a natural flow rather than a forced leap. Action step: commit to a 30-day renewal habit, whether it's journaling, learning a new skill, or mentoring. Observe how your behavior shifts as you let old patterns dissolve. Conclusion: as the phoenix circles back to its starting point, so do we return to our purpose with renewed vigor, each iteration strengthening our resilience. The synergy of ancient phoenix imagery and Taoist Wu Wei provides a living blueprint for everyday metamorphosis. Call to action: if this final chapter resonated, hit like, share with friends, and subscribe to stay tuned for more lessons that connect the past with your transformative future. Reflective question: how can you embody the phoenix's eternal cycle in your daily life, making each day an opportunity for renewal? Closing reflections: throughout these chapters, we have traced the phoenix's journey of rebirth and intertwined it with Taoist Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. From ashes to soaring, from rigid climb to flowing water, each story showcases the power of letting go, of embracing the natural rhythm of life and rising anew. Invite your audience. How will you begin your own phoenix rebirth today? Let those ancient lessons guide your footsteps, and may your next transformation feel as natural as a river's flow.